A week in Osaka, cultural by day, gay by night, fun all around. We started our trip in Osaka's Nakasakicho neighborhood, a hidden gem that locals call Osaka's Brooklyn. This retro neighborhood survived World War II bombings, so you'll find authentic Showa-era buildings from the 1950s and 60s, mixed with indie cafes, vintage shops, and street art tucked into narrow alleyways. It's like stepping into an old Japan with a hipster twist. We then made our way to one of Osaka's most iconic spots, Dotonbori. Tons of shops, neon lights, and the famous Glico Running Man you've definitely seen on your feed. We wandered around and stopped for veggie dinner at OKO. One of my favorite things to do in Japan is just to wander the streets. 1 minute you're at a claw machine arcade, the next at a temple, and before you know it, you're belting karaoke at a bar. This was at Frenz Friendsy, which ended up being one of my favorite gay bars in Osaka. The owner is super friendly, and you'll leave making new friends every single time. The next day, we decided to explore one of Osaka's most unique temples, known as the Daruma Doll Temple. Daruma dolls are traditional Japanese wish-granting talisman. You color in one eye when you make one wish, and then the other eye when it comes true. Katsuoji has over 8,000 Daruma dolls decorating the grounds in vibrant red. It's absolutely surreal. The place is a bit out of the way. You have to take a train, then a bus to get there, but the temple is definitely memorable. There's also a beautiful waterfall nearby, lots of nature trails, and even an insect observation house. The following day, we hit up Amerikamura neighborhood, also known as Amemura by locals. This area became a youth counterculture hub in the 1970s when young Japanese entrepreneurs started selling imported American goods here, from vintage Levi's to vinyl records. We stumbled upon a haunted house, which was totally awesome, super weird, very Japanese. You'll find young people hanging out, tons of vintage clothing shops, and funky boutique stores. It felt like Harajuku, but with a younger, edgier, less touristy vibe. Then we went to the famous Nabayasaka Shrine. Just be sure you get there before 5 p.m. when they close. We merely missed it. This shrine has a massive 12-meter-tall lion head stage called Emaden that's supposed to swallow evil spirits and grant victory. It's one of the most photographed spots in Osaka, and honestly, it's wild in person. From there, we walked to the Ibisu Higashi neighborhood. This area is packed with restaurants, iyasakas, and old-school Japanese game centers. I'd definitely come here at night for the best experience. Make sure you get some dumplings and sake while you're there. The following day, we went to Cup of Noodles Museum in Ikeda. To be honest, it was a miss for me. I'm a vegetarian and have never been a huge instant ramen fan, although I do love real ramen. However, this place is popular with families. I personally felt it was kind of underwhelming, but there is something cool. Instant ramen noodles was invented by Momofuku Ando in 1958 after World War II food shortages. And get this, in 2005, Nissin created Space Ram, specifically for astronauts. Yes, Cup of Noodles has literally been eaten on an international space station. The area around there is pretty quiet, although there is a beautiful Ikeda Castle Park you can visit nearby. While there's no actual castle standing there today, Ikeda Castle Park sits on the ruins of an original 16th century Ikeda castle. The park offers peaceful walking paths, seasonal flowers, and a glimpse into feudal Japan's history. A nice contrast to the modern Cup Noodles Museum. That night, we went to Team Lab Botanical Gardens, Osaka. Unlike the Tokyo Team Lab, this one is outdoors. You wander through the Nagai Botanical Gardens in a completely immersive experience that blends nature, light, and technology. Team Lab uses no screens or projectors on trees. Instead, they use smart LED lights that respond to human movement and weather, creating art that changes every single night. We ended that day with a delicious bowl of veggie ramen at Hep 5, followed by a few drinks at Grand Slam. Another cozy gay bar with friendly bartenders who are making takoyaki, fried octopus balls for everybody there. Osaka is the birthplace of takoyaki, and locals take it very seriously. The following day, we booked a group tour to Nara and Kyoto. I'm not a huge fan of group tours, but it seemed like the easiest option to maximize our time. The day started really early with a trip to Nara. Deer were everywhere, but they're also the most aggressive in the morning, so be careful because they're hungry, especially the bucks. Nara has over 1,200 sacred deer that are considered messengers of the Shinto gods. They've been protected for over 1,000 years, and will actually bow to you when asking for deer crackers. But watch out, they will headbutt you or even bite you sometimes. The next stop was Kyoto's most famous temple, Kinkakuji Temple. The Golden Pavilion. The crowds were intense to say the least. We abandoned our tour and decided to stay in Kyoto and explore at our own pace. The Bamboo Grove also gets pretty crowded, but my favorite was visiting some of the smaller temples nearby, like Jojakoji. Sure, you have to pay a small entrance fee, but exploring beautiful gardens without the massive crowds is totally worth it. The next day, it was time for Universal Studios Japan! Pro tip, get there early, like really early. We arrived a little after 7 a.m. and there was already a huge line. You have to be super strategic if you want to make the best of it. Walk, don't run, but walk quickly towards Super Nintendo World. The place gets so jam-packed later that they won't let you in unless you have a timed entry ticket. We got on 2 rides without waiting by using the single rider line, which is a major hack to beat the crowds. Once Nintendo World gets packed, that's when it's a good time to exit and explore the other major rides like Jurassic Park, Jaws, Minions, and Waterworld. The last stop we made was the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I think we lucked out because while people were mesmerized by the light show outside the castle, we rushed to the rides and got on pretty quickly. Universal Studios was so much more fun than Tokyo Disney. I definitely recommend it. Just be sure you get there early and use single rider lines when possible. The following day we went to the Shinsekai neighborhood, the area with the most famous tower, and rode to slide at the Sutenkatu Tower. Fun fact, Sutenkatu Tower means tower reaching heaven, and it was built in 1956. Inside is a Billiken statue, Osaka's god of good luck. Rub his feet for a good fortune. And yes, there's actually a slide tower called Tower Slider that was added in 2022. You slide down from one of the observation decks. We explored nearby temples and wandered the grounds of the famous Osaka Castle. Fun fact, Osaka Castle was built in 1583 by a legendary samurai warlord, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and played a major role in Japan's unification. The castle has been destroyed and rebuilt multiple times. The current structure was reconstructed in 1931, but the stone walls are original and massive. We ended that night at Eagle Osaka, one of the most famous gay bar chains globally, for some go-go boys and a little dancing. Eagle is an international leather and cruise bar chain with locations in major cities worldwide. Osaka's location is in the Doyama-cho neighborhood, which has over 50 LGBTQ plus bars, packed into just a few blocks. Osaka is so much fun, way more chill than Tokyo. People will jaywalk, and locals are generally friendlier. You need some sort of plan, but a lot of the fun also comes from wandering around and ending up in a place you were not expecting. This is Eduardo Kulbo.